In the previous class, we had discussed about the air pollution, the sources of air pollution and the effects of air pollution. So one more effect of air pollution is that is acid rain. So when fossil fuels such as coal and petroleum are burned, some acidic gases like oxides of nitrogen and sulfur are released into air. So these oxides combine with water vapor present in air to form nitric acid and sulfurous acid. So listen, first, when coal and petroleum are burned, some acidic gases like oxides of nitrogen and sulfur, these are released into the air. So these oxides combine with water vapor. For example, when nitrogen, oxides of nitrogen, nitrogen oxide NO2 reacts with water vapor, that is H2O, it gives nitric acid. Similarly, when oxides of sulfur, sulfur dioxide or SO2, it reacts with water vapor, it gives H2SO3, sulfurous acid, and H2SO4, sulfuric acid. So these are the acids, and when these acids of small amount of acids fall down on earth along with rain, that time such type of rain is called acid rain. So along with rain, these type of acids are falling down on the earth, and it is said to be acid rain. It is very harmful for both biotic and abiotic components of an ecosystem. That means for both living and non-living things of an ecosystem. It can destroy the plants, causing huge loss to the farmers. It can make the soil acidic and unfit for farming. It kills the fish and other aquatic organisms as the water bodies become acidic. Acid rain also causes damage to the buildings and monuments made of marble, granite or limestone. So it dissolves the layer of stone slowly. So whether abiotic or biotic, both the components of an ecosystem are getting affected by the acid rain. Both are getting damaged by the acid rain. You might have seen that damage in Taj Mahal. So it is a glaring case of damage in the Taj Mahal. So there are many industries around Agra which releases pollutants in the air. In addition to these, the smoke and gases released by the Mathura oil refinery lead to acid rain in the surrounding area. Because of the air pollutants, acid rain took place in the surrounding area, and the polluted air and the acid rain are damaging the pure white marble of the Taj Mahal. You can see that you have seen or you have read in the news that the color of the white marble of Taj Mahal is becoming yellowish color. That means it is getting corroded or it is getting destroyed, or we can say in a simple word, it is getting rusted, like iron is getting rusted. So it is getting corroded or rusted or destroyed by acquiring a yellowish color because of the acid rain. So the government of India and the judiciary have taken action to prevent further corrosion of Taj Mahal. So all the industries and vehicles of around Agra are asked to use cleaner fuels like CNG or LPG, because other fuels are releasing, like coal and petroleum, they are releasing some oxides of acidic oxides of nitrogen and sulfur, which in turn reacts with water vapor or combine with water vapor to give the acids. And when these acids fall on the earth along with rain, it is called acidic rain. So bad quality of air or polluted air is becoming a threat to the health of the people. So government has taken many steps to reduce air pollution. So some ways in which air pollution can be reduced, like given as using cleaner fuels like CNG and LPG in place of petrol. So in rural areas, people should use biogas rather than cow dung or dry wood. Then the factories and power plants should install smoke precipitors which remove the solid particles and harmful gases and smoke. Smoke can also be washed with water to remove sulfur oxides and nitrogen oxides. Either they can use the cleaner fuels like CNG or LPG in place of petrol, and people can use biogas rather than cow dung or the dry wood. Factories, power plants, they have to install smoke precipitators which remove the solid particles and harmful gases and smoke. Then we should save energy. As a responsible and aware citizen, we can make conscious efforts to reduce air pollution, like we should not burn garbage or dry leaves. these are biodegradable. So dry leaves can be degraded, so we should not burn dry leaves or the garbage. We should save electricity. We should use public transport rather than individual transport. If 100 people are going to a same place, then we can use one transport, public transport, rather than using 100 vehicles and polluting the air. So we should plant trees. We should not burst crackers as they cause lot of air pollution. So these are the few ways by which we can control air pollution to some extent. We can stop the air pollution, but we can control the air pollution to some extent. So these things we should follow. So next is water pollution. Water is considered as the savior of the life. We cannot survive without the water. So we are most careless in using water. We use little water and waste more water, but of all water present on the earth, a very small fraction is available to us. Even this a small fraction is getting polluted by human activities. So water pollution, we can define water pollution as the contamination of water by addition of unwanted and harmful substances to it. So when water is getting contaminated by unwanted and harmful substance, that is water is said to be polluted. In a simple way, we can say that contamination of water by addition of unwanted and harmful substance is known as water pollution. So polluted water is unfit for drinking and other uses. So if we will see the causes or the sources of water pollution, then many human activities lead to water pollution. So we can discuss in details them also. The main causes of water pollution are sewage water, agricultural waste, industrial waste. So sewage water is, first of all, if you will see the sewage water, it is used water from homes. It contains soap, detergent, many harmful microorganisms like bacteria, virus, protozoa, worms. These contaminate the river water when sewage is dumped into the river. So this is our sewage water which is causing water pollution. Next is agricultural waste, that is excess water from farms and fields mixes with water bodies at the underground. So this water contains many dissolved fertilizers and pesticides, because farmers are using fertilizers and pesticides, and when water is going in that area, so water is also getting mixed, or many fertilizers, pesticides are dissolved in the water. These mix with the river water and contaminate it. So moreover, presence of fertilizers cause excessive growth of algae and other water plants. So these cover the surface of water and use up all the nutrients and dissolved oxygen. So thus the water bodies becomes unfit for the survival of the fish and other aquatic organisms. And this phenomenon, when the fertilizers causes an excessive growth of algae and other plants, that phenomenon is called eutrophication. Eutrophication, that means the excessive fertilizers causes an excessive growth of algae and other water plants and cover the surface of water and use up all the nutrients and do not allow the fish to survive or other aquatic organisms to survive. So next is our industrial waste, because industries also dump their waste in drains which are joined to the rivers. So these waste contains many toxic chemical substances such as mercury, lead, arsenic and many more. So these are very harmful for the living organisms and can cause deformities or disease. This mercury, lead and all, these are very harmful, and when these waters are going and mixing with the river water, they are causing damage to the fish also. And when we are bringing fish and eating them, the mercury or the lead or these chemicals are present in the fish body, and we are also getting the disease. So indirectly or directly, both the aquatic bodies and human beings, so all are getting, mostly all the living organisms are getting affected by the water pollution. So in the next class we will discuss about the effects of water pollution and how to control the water pollution. So till then you read this much and learn them, what are the causes of air and water pollution.